Welcome to Digital Retail Delivered by Tomorrow. I'm Jordan Burke, and I'm excited today to welcome two of my best friends for a roundtable on retail media, a really important topic today among retailers across the world. First, I'd like to introduce Rob Rivenburgh, CEO of the Mars Agency. 18 years, Rob, with the Mars Agency, one of the longest standing independent agencies in the US, and really focused on shopper marketing as a core strength from day one. You guys have been really at the forefront of the retail media landscape from the time that you helped to found Triad, one of the early agencies that helped retailers enter the segment, even until today, working with Walmart Canada, Dick's, and other retailers. Rob, it's great to see you.
Thanks, Jordan. Appreciate it.
And Gal Shivtiel, another real co-founder of this industry, if you will. Many years in the retail buying and marketing area. You started with Asda, running all of their events, and then became a merchant there, went down to Oz in Australia with Kohl's running GM merchandising. And you and I met at Walmart China when you created the marketing team really there before going on to found in 2009 Great Ideas Group, which now represents Asda and many other retailers in managing all of their media, sales, and operations. You also work with Walmart in the US and have been a very early arrival at the retail media party. So great to have you, Gal.
Thank you, Jordan. It's great to be here. Really appreciate the invitation.
Well, guys, let's kick right into it. Retail media has been all over the news in the last 3 months. Why is this area so much of a strategic focus today, whereas even just 2 years ago, it seemed, Rob, it was not a priority for retailers?
I would say there's three things that are causing this, this attention to it and this focus, and seeing many of the, not the early adopters, but I'd say more of the followers setting up these retail media operations or networks. And I think it's really threefold. One is, I think the sheer evolution of the path to purchase and the way consumers buy and shop. I think it's an adoption to that and being able to reach them and ultimately drive demand. I would say that's number one. Number two is, I'll call it the Amazon impact. I think these other retailers have seen the sheer impact of what Amazon's doing. I think it's looking at $14 billion in ad sales just this year, which obviously you're seeing a very significant revenue stream, profit stream. They're addressing that path to purchase, that evolution, and reaching the consumer and the shopper. They're aggregating data. And candidly, what's happening too is we're seeing many of the suppliers for the last couple of years shifting dollars from other retailers to the Amazon medium from a sales and marketing perspective. So I think that's another reason or catalyst for it. I'd say the third is the other retailers are looking, they're having margin pressures. They're ultimately having to react to that new consumer in the shopping environment. So they're having to build the omni-channel capabilities, the e-com capabilities, and it's coming as a cost. So I think they're looking at the retail media proposition as an investment or for dollars to offset that margin pressure. So those are the three things that I would look at as really what's causing it to hit the point that it is at right now.
And what a turning point it seems to be. Gal, in the UK, this is not exactly a new topic. Your retailers there have been focused on this for even a bit longer. Are they seeing the benefits of having started earlier in this journey? And if so, how does that play out for them?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think everyone's seeing the benefits if they do it properly. And as Rob says, if we focus on the omni-channel approach and show a customer journey from start to end at every customer touch point, then you see the benefits of bringing a brand to life. And especially from a retail perspective, when you've got that ability to then purchase the product at the final point of purchase. So if we can show that full end to end and are able to bring to life the brand at every touch point, that's where we can show that significant benefit to sales, to the brands, to the retailer, and ultimately to the customer who has an enhanced customer experience.
Do you think retailers in the UK are more advanced? Are you seeing their approach as being more mature than what you see in the US or Canadian market?
Yeah, we've been involved here in the UK for a number of years in the retail media landscape. So we're more advanced in terms of taking a look at the omni-channel approach and the assets, I think, so that we have a journey that is in store and online and off-site as well. So I think it's more advanced in that. I think the other side that we're probably taking a look at investing a lot more in is the ROI reporting. So the reporting on the return on ad spend and investment to prove the success of the campaigns that are taking place. But I think there's, even in the less mature markets, there's been a huge increase in focus over the last couple of years, as you describe. So many of those markets are getting ahead now as well.
What are the limiting factors if you think of retailers that have struggled to make this a strength? Rob, how about starting with you? What do you think are the 2 or 3 things that they don't get right when they build this business?
Yeah, I think there's probably a number of them. One of them, I think, is really misunderstanding the magnitude of what it takes to ramp up and set up this kind of a network. I think people are organizations, the individuals within, I think misunderstand the magnitude of that. And I think there's also the scale issue. Is the middle level, lower tail, long tail retailers, do they have the scale to actually deliver on that for the proposition on that for the supplier community? I think measurement and attribution broadly, I think getting that where we're normalizing that across it, because many of the retailers are looking for these media dollars. And I think the media agencies that are working with their supplier partners are struggling to change or shift those dollars into a medium that I'm not sure I'm getting the right measurement, I'm getting the right return and the attribution. So I think that's an area that I think needs to address. And I think there's a little tendency of, I'll call it media centricity. And I think we're missing where a lot of the retail proposition is selling solely media. And I think we're forgetting the omni-channel aspect of it, not including the brick and mortar, not including the merchants. And I think that's a miss. I think we have to get more holistic in our thinking and in our approach. So I think those are some of the factors I think are limiting the different entities to be successful.
Yeah, I mean, it's spot on what Rob's just described. Ticks the box of everything that I was going to add almost. So the insights, the analytics, the omni-channel approach, that is key really to the focus. But I'd sum it up in one way really. So pulling it all together, for me, it's all about the customer experience. And for the retailers that don't start with the customer experience first, enhancing every step of the way, every customer touch point of the customer journey, if we don't look at it to a media that can enhance that customer experience, that's probably one of the biggest limiting factors. And if we start with every touch point being there to mean that customer enjoys the shopping experience, whether it's in store or online, that's a great step towards maximizing the opportunity and delivering a better outcome for the customers and the brands.
How about the fact that retailers have really since inception dealt with suppliers in one way? They've bought from suppliers, they've tried to extract investment and support from suppliers, and now turning around and serving suppliers seems like a pretty big mindset change. Rob, they've dealt with trade teams forever and are very comfortable in that dynamic. How have you seen retailers been able to break through and really become service providers to brands, and who do they serve? Who are the teams inside the brand business that become their customers?
Yeah, I think the dynamic, as you suggest, sales and the merchant and the retail, I think that's changing dramatically. And I think the organizations that aren't changing that interface and putting different people, different experiences, different capabilities in place, either at corporate headquarters or locally, are going to have trouble. They're going to have trouble not only growing, but just being relevant to the business and what's happening right now. So we are seeing a lot of that change. We're seeing a convergence of the various functional silos, being less silos, more integrated in their approach. And I think they have to. They've got to bring the level of expertise that's required, both from the supply chain side to the demand side, and that's incorporating more shopper marketing, brand, agency, individuals with the sales organization. So I think you're seeing that. I refer to this holistic thinking, integrated planning, or we like to call it, our Campbell's client ultimately calls it media to shelf. And I think there's something there about this integrated planning and approach. I also think beyond the changing of the people, there's going to be this real push for analytics and understanding the effectiveness and the efficiency of the spend. And I think you're seeing more of that come to that local level, whether it's in Minneapolis for Target or Bentonville for Walmart. So I definitely see there's a profound change as it relates to that. And again, this integration, I think you're going to see the budgets start to merge. You got 3 different budgets. You got brand, you got shopper, and you got trade. And I think they're all going to merge more and more. And they're going to be probably less price and more solution focused I think what I like to call it is customer portfolio management. I think you're going to see at the corporate headquarters a real emphasis. I'm going to invest my dollars, this holistic budget, to where I'm going to get the best return, the best interaction with my client to drive demand, or client, I mean consumer, to drive that demand. And you might not be going over here where you historically funded, because it's just not going to have that kind of return.
Yeah, and again, I think that's key, Rob, in terms of what you've described. If we can't show the return on investment, it doesn't really, it doesn't really matter that those brands, those suppliers won't invest. So key is to make sure that we can continue to show the benefits of investing with those retailers. And I think, in answer to your question, Jordan, that the retailers are bringing the right talent to be able to deal with the brands in a different way. So it's not just about buying and selling of products, it's understanding how to bring those products to life and enhancing the customer experience and making those brands stand out on the shelf, whether in store or online.
Amazon and Alibaba are now two of the largest media businesses in the world, from essentially zero less than 10 years ago. Why have these businesses been able to build such compelling media propositions while retailers have taken much longer to identify the opportunity and then pivot towards it? Is it something in the DNA of these businesses that gave them an advantage, or what's your thought on why they've captured this sooner than their retail peers?
I think, Jordan, you've probably got a lot of insights from your Walmart China days. So I'll let you answer some of the Walmart China scenarios with Alibaba that we lived. Rob, why don't you start, and then I'll just pick up from my side.
Yeah, I think that I really look at it as you said early on, it's that customer experience. And I think they really hit something there with customer experience early on, and it came back to simple as convenience. I think it's convenience to be able to go on and have that customer interaction or interface and with the retailer online and getting my product within a day or 2 days. I think that's where it really hit. I think there's a network effect there too, where many of them have created these marketplaces where it's a broad level of distribution, inventory, and I think by having more and more in this kind of a marketplace environment has created people to demand and interest in going there and solving again that need from a customer or shopper standpoint.
Completely. The only additional element is that the focus that they had on the digital channel first, whereas a lot of the traditional retailers had the brick stores to focus on, and it was about maximizing the shelf in stores, and I think that allowed obviously some of the other retailers to truly focus on the online proposition, where some of the other retailers are now catching up fast, let's say.
I'll add to this one, Gal, per your setup there. I also think when it relates to the media business, that certainly Alibaba is an example of where they never had a buying mentality or the DNA of a merchant that shaded, if in some way, the way they work with brands. I think from day one, they have seen themselves as an enabler of helping brands or helping merchants grow their business. And so any tool or service that could help them be more successful, they were very prone to test and roll out. I think Amazon actually has a little bit of that advantage also, that they've never been a traditional account in how they buy and how they manage brand partnerships. I think they've always dealt with a different aspect of the brand. They've built really from day one working with the brand and media teams at suppliers rather than those traditional trade functions. So I just think it's a natural for them, whereas it takes retailers really changing that mindset to, we are no longer only a buyer, we are also a service provider to enable you to succeed versus just you serve us.
I definitely agree with that. I think the other part to it is their focus on events also has meant that, again, to Rob's point and what I mentioned earlier on, this customer experience, enhancing the customer experience, being there for the customer when the customer wants you is key. And they've been great at bringing events to life in online especially. So when you look at the Singles Day from Alibaba and Prime Day, and this focus on customer moments and events has been a huge success factor in their armor.
Yeah, what a missed opportunity it seems for retailers to be innovative around events and breakthrough. And I know that's an area of your passion, by the way.
It is. Yeah.
Let's actually give a couple examples. I'd love to hear, Rob, you first, and then Gal. Just in the recent, say, 6 months, where have you seen a example of a retail media campaign that has really broken through and delivered something that a brand wasn't finding anywhere else?
Yeah, I think I have one, and naturally it would be a client of ours. I would be remiss if I didn't have it a client of ours. And I think it's actually happened last December during the holiday timeframe with our Campbell's client. And ultimately, again, I think I referred to this media shelf approach where we took a unique insight, and it was all about, the insight was the joy of missing out, very timely, certainly now. We took this unique insight about the joy of missing out. We took valuable content and partnered, in this case, with the Hallmark Channel around a unifying idea, which we called Joy Night. And ultimately, we took that to Walmart, and we met with the merchant and the marketers and obviously WMG, and created this holistic experience. And it was very much from the top of the funnel all the way through to conversion in the store, which I thought was a unique approach where, again, if you look back, the Campbell's organization, they were doing their media plans. They were going to do something with the Hallmark Channel. But we ultimately said, as a collective group, let's develop this integrated plan all the way through the full funnel aspect of it, and incorporating Walmart from not only from their assets from a digital standpoint, but in the store. And I think it created a really powerful, holistic experience.
It sold.
That's great.
It actually drove the needle.
Just again, to build on the
Absolutely.
Walmart example, I guess. So right now, with what we're seeing from what the Walmart US team are doing, and again, going back to that whole point about listen to your customers and see what your customers are doing, I'd say that they're working through some incredible focus areas around events and around the customer moments right now, especially through the situation we've got now with the social distancing needs and keeping apart while staying together. So this work that they're doing on the drive-in movies concept,
Yes.
and the Walmart camp, I think, is outstanding right now. Thinking differently about a moment that's important to the customer, and how can we as a retailer make sure that we're there for the customer, bringing it to life in the right way, and to allow then the brands to be a part of that journey and to own certain aspects of either camp or the drive-ins, and almost be there full end to end from the tickets in advance right through to being there on the night, I think has been sensational, and all credit to them. All the media I've seen and all the Twitter feeds that we see has just been so well received by the customers. So that's one I would call out right now.
Yeah,
Be there for the customers, how they want to you to be there in a very different way. That's what helps you win.
And I think what's unique about, my example was more brand-led, manufacturer-led, where you're integrating the proposition of the platform, the retailer, and then there's the retailer initiative, which I think is, that's ultimately where it all comes together.
Absolutely right.
Excellent. Walmart and TikTok. If the marriage does proceed, where do you think the innovation occurs in terms of media? What is it that these two together can create that's special? Gal, would love to start with you.
Okay, so I think it's a perfect marriage to come if it does go through. When you think about the customer demographics and the opportunity to actually talk to their customer base, it's a phenomenal opportunity. I think in terms of the media landscape that it offers, it's going to be really different from the in-store or current online or Walmart app experience. So it gives a chance to really think differently, think creatively, and bring some true innovation into the social media platform. And I think that right back at the TikTok opportunity as well, having Walmart's customer base being able to be a part of that community can offer some amazing synergies and some amazing opportunities for both parties.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think it's great access to that Gen Z that that's not a predominant player or shopper that will ultimately definitely be there. So they're looking at obviously getting that kind of that consumer in their franchise. Yeah, I'm excited about it for a couple of reasons. I think is it's nice to see Walmart's always been following Amazon, and I think in this case they're leading Amazon as it relates to this social video commerce. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about what they're able to be able to do it. You guys know far better than I. How social commerce is behaving, or how prevalent it is in Asia and China. And I think being able to enable that and have that here in the States, I think is going to be exciting. I think it's also going to accelerate mobile or payment technology, I think, as a result of that. So I think you're you've seen that adoption slowly here in the years, and I know many have tried it from Apple Pay to a number of others. I think you'll see that move a little further along, and I think that's exciting from a convenience standpoint for all of us, and that contactless environment I think is also going to push it further.
I'm with you, Rob. I think the ability to create a new type of shopping occasion through a social commerce experience is so special and such a unique time to be able to do that. And those times don't come around often, right? The moment when a new shopping model can be invented. And as you mentioned, in China right now, as Singles Day is really in full force, the live stream channel is going to contribute about 10% of total sales through this holiday. And so you can see it's a major factor in driving the market in China now. And
there you go.
It's an experience that I think globally people will appreciate. So a good chance for Walmart to pioneer that, hopefully.
Absolutely.
Good, guys. Well, this has been great. You two have seen the retail media industry really from its nascent stages to right now in a breakout moment. And it's been wonderful to be able to hear your views on what's happening and to work with you. I'm going to put information on the Mars Agency and Great Ideas Group in the show notes, and would encourage anyone who's interested to go deeper to reach out to Rob and Gal, you guys directly. But thanks for coming, spending time, and looking forward to a big holiday season over the next few weeks.
Thanks for the invitation.
Be safe. Cheers.
Good stuff, guys. Take care, everybody. Look forward to seeing you out there in the retail world. Good luck.